Justine, a week prior to her death, while she was in your care, Ruby Collins was injured. Can you tell us what exactly happened?
Well, she rolled off the couch and got these bruises.
She rolled off a couch?
Yes.
And these bruises? The medical report states they're inconsistent with falling. Can you explain that?
No.
They're more likely to be from picking up the child and holding her either side with two hands. You never picked the child up like that?
No.
Okay. Let's concentrate on the night Ruby Collins died. According to your statement, you say that you noticed some bruising and rang Dr. Fraser.
That's right.
But when the doctor wasn't available, you told his wife not to mention your call. Why is that?
Well, I didn't want to bother him.
Why not? You were concerned about the baby.
Yes, but I didn't think it was that serious.
You didn't think Ruby's bruises were worth pursuing the doctor with, yet you claim here, in your statement, that you confronted the Collinses about the bruises as soon as they got home.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Collins don't support this. They claim they discovered their little baby girl unconscious after you had left. Now, how do you explain this?
They're lying.
So, while you were babysitting, you were concerned enough about the child to call a doctor. You're then concerned enough to confront the parents about this issue upon their return, something you say they ignored. But when you get home, all of a sudden, you're not concerned enough to talk to anyone about any bruises or anything else you claim happened that night. Why is that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Could it be because you don't want to tell your family the horrible truth of what really happened that night? That little Ruby Collins, according to the post-mortem, had been picked up in such a manner as to cause a set of bruises identical to the first set of bruises that the child had received under your care on an earlier night. But on this occasion, she was violently shaken to her death.
No, because it didn't happen while I was there. I would never do anything like that.
Mrs. Collins, this is very important. I want you to remember, when you came home that night, did Justine mention anything to you about the bruising on Ruby? Mrs. Collins, did Justine mention the bruising?
No. She didn't say anything about the bruising. She was my little girl.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mrs. Collins. You may step down. And we'll adjourn until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
For most of her 17 years, the accused, Justine Wells, has led what can be fairly described as a difficult life. Justine admits that on an earlier night in her care, Ruby Collins was injured, and that the bruises she received were the same as on the night she died. Finally, Justine was concerned enough to call a doctor on that night in question, but then nothing. Not a word to anyone else about the baby's condition. Her claims that Mr. and Mrs. Collins lied are chilling. It would lead us to an unthinkable act. But I ask you, who is more likely to lie and cover up in this shocking crime? A teenager with a troubled past, or the loving parents of an only child? Ruby Collins is dead. And I urge you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to find Justine Wells guilty of her manslaughter.
The prosecution has tried, as one might have expected, to undermine Justine's character. And they failed. What they have done is presented you with a great deal of circumstantial evidence which doesn't prove much of anything, let alone my client's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. They also introduced you to Justine's mother. Sharon Wells perpetrated a despicable act when she ingratiated herself upon her estranged daughter's affections, not out of any concern for her daughter, but for her own self-interest and greed. But the fact remains that the prosecution were quite prepared to use these lies against an innocent teenager. What we did learn from Sharon Wells' testimony was that Justine believed her, and she opened up to her. Well, why wouldn't she? Imagine never having had a mother, and then suddenly, in your hour of need, there she is, and she's everything you wanted your mother to be. So, why didn't she confess? It was the perfect opportunity for her to do so. But Justine never once said anything to anyone that would incriminate her. In fact, Justine's story never changed from the very first time she spoke to the police. And the reason for that is the truth doesn't change. And Justine Wells is not guilty. That's another truth that will not change. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watson.
All rise.
Would the defendant please rise? Have you reached a decision?
Yes, Your Honour.
Please read your decision to the court.
We, the jury, on the charge of manslaughter, find the defendant, Justine Wells, guilty, 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 guilty.
How could Mrs. Collins get up in court like that and lie? I mean, isn't that a crime?
Well, there's no point dwelling on it now.
Dad, Justine is innocent. Now, I don't see how this could happen.
Well, we believe Justine, the jury didn't. Simple as that.
Yeah, well, it's a joke.
Well, these things happen. I don't like it, but it's just the way our legal system works, I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, I think it sucks.
You know, I thought I was prepared for this, but it was such a shock when they read out the guilty verdict.
You know what I mean?
Name?
Justine Wells.
Right, you're due for sentencing next week.
Yeah, I think so.
Right, I want your valuables in the box, your clothes on the chair, and then I want you to come and stand on this line. Thanks.
You want me to take my clothes off?
Yes, please.
All of them?
We have to check every prisoner that comes in this place. Standard procedure. Don't you bring in contraband in here. You've never been in custody before, have you? Sorry. They're the rules. Takes a bit of getting used to. Right, can we have those clothes, thank you, now? Dinner's at 6. It's not 5-star, but you'll survive. I'll leave you to settle in. You'll be sleeping here.
Hi.
Are you one of Joanne's crew?
No, I'm Justine. I'm your new roommate.
Did you just get here?
Yeah, this afternoon.
What are you in for?
Manslaughter, but I didn't do it.
Sure. Okay. How long are you in for?
I don't know, I haven't been sentenced yet.
Oh. I've been here 6 months. I hate it.
Yeah, it's a bit different to what I expected. I thought it'd be just a brick cell with a toilet in the corner and no front wall, just bars.
Well, it's not the place I hate. This one's quite good. It's the people.
Why? What's wrong with them?
You'll find out.
Have you been in many of these places before?
Oh, yeah. This is my third. I have a bit of a problem with taking stuff.
So, do they make you stay in here all day or what?
Oh, no, there's a rec room. Most of the other girls are there. You can watch TV and stuff.
Why aren't you there?
Joanne's crew hang out there. But I'll show you where it is if you want to go.
No, that's right. I might just have a rest for a while.
Good idea. They won't hassle you if you don't get in their way.
Hey,
Hi.
can't believe you're actually here.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure they'd let me in.
I look pretty bad, don't I?
Oh, you look fine.
These pants are so foul.
Look, I promise I won't tell anyone about your pants. So how are things?
Okay, I suppose. I'm sharing a room. Haven't really shared since Tegan left.
All right, well, what's your roommate like?
She's okay. I haven't really met anyone else, but I've heard.
You've heard what?
Well, apparently there's this girl called Joanne who I'm supposed to steer clear of.
All right.
She's just another girl. I mean, how bad can she be?
Yeah, you're right.
Can't believe I'm here. I could be in here.
No contact, please.
But
No contact.